How you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy, here with Crannk, and today I'm having a chat with Lisa Perry, vocalist for Hellz, Australian rock band, who have had a huge year so far. You may have caught the Control of the Unholy track, which was released July 17th, and also played it on my first monthly podcast there. So, and she's also had a whole ton of tracks. I think it's like one almost every month bar June. So we had Fire to the Sky in January, Murder Parade in February, 2020 was March, Rot was April, Bitch Ran Away, which has been doing really well for you over in South Africa and stuff like that, and the Control of the Unholy. Lisa, thank you very much for some time.
Hey, here we are. Hey Jai, how are you going? It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. And as you were saying, it's good. Like, this is your first Aussie interview, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, first one at home with my fam.
That's really
All
cool.
the rest have been overseas.
It's really good to see you getting that, a lot of following from overseas, but I'd really like a lot of Aussies to get on board and follow what you got going on, because it's been a huge year for you, which I'll dive into. But what I want to ask first is what I like to ask a lot of my artists is, how did you first get into music and to singing?
Yeah, right. My dad was a drummer. He was 1970s rock and roll drummer from England, and I grew up with his influence massively on me with the Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and all the amazing bands from back in the day. He got me in a band, and when I was about 20, made me play in a band for 10 years with him. And got me doing all the songs. So I had no choice, really.
That's cool. What was the name of the band?
Oh, it was Wookie Hollow. I can't even say it. Wookie Hollow, yeah. And we went up and down the coastline just doing covers and originals, but it was, 3 people in the audience. It was great.
That's like most shows here in Australia, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I know, that's what they were saying about the COVID thing, about the numbers, and you're not allowed so many. Well, that's normal anyway.
That's normal at most shows here in Australia, especially in the underground scene. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And we have talent like yourself, and they play these shows and you've got a handful of people. And I really hope things start to change with everything that has happened. But I want to dive into how did that evolve into Hellz, and how did Hellz start? Because it's kind of, you've just been going flat out, dude. I want to know how this formed and kind of some of your influences that inspired you to kind of get this Hellz thing going.
Yeah, I think I had a break from music for a little while, and because everybody knows that when you're an artist and you're really, really trying to make it, and it's a lot of hard work, and eventually you do burn out a little. So I had a break, and then one day I was sitting on the couch, and an old guitarist I used to play with needed a fill-in singer for a show. And I'm like, I knew I said I'd never do it, but I'll do it. So I learnt their sets, did the gig. Then another band asked me to be in their band. Then another band. And in the end, I started working with some recording artists in the industry in Australia. And then I got contacted by Megadeth's old guitarist, Jeff Young, in the States last year. And I went over and did a couple of songs with him. We parted ways, so I came back and I had a fire in my belly to bring my own songs to life. So I went and sat in a studio with the ex-Rat Cat, Mark Scully, and he was the bassist for Rat Cat, and he sat and he helped me bring my songs to life, which was Sinner and Desire. And from then on, I acquired Gorka Allegra, Tolo Grimalt over in Spain, and now I've got Mark McLeod on drums from the Screaming Jets here in Australia, down in Melbourne. So we're working on a huge amount of stuff to come out. I have worked with other writers over in America too, and we've parted ways as well, but they appeared and co-wrote, or Lex Magic, he co-wrote the last song, Control of the Unholy, Rot and Murder Parade with me as well. So I've had a lot of people jump forward and go, I want to write with you, and I've been so lucky.
Yeah, that's really good. It must be good to have all these quality musicians want to come on board and work with you. And it's, I'm spinning out about how this is unfolding for you, and it's really good to see, the way this is progressing from Fire to the Sky, Murder Parade, and right up to Control of the Unholy. It's Lisa Perry on vocals, but you've also shown different elements of your vocal stylings and your delivery. Not every song is the same, like Fire to the Sky and Control of the Unholy, and then Bitch Ran Away and Rot in 2020's got that more meaningful, you know,
Yeah.
vibe
My
to
premonition.
it. Yeah. I was almost now you've mentioned it. I was gonna say, dude, like 2020
I
almost
can
killed
ask
that.
Yeah, over in the UK, that's listening. You wrote that in March. You released it in March, and they said, "So, what made you release that song then?"
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a feeling I had, like,
Yeah, but you kind of
about how
listen
this
to
year was going to go down.
you listen to the song, it does have meaning, but then the words of it, it's kind of,
Yeah.
you can see totally it's got nothing to do with anything about that. So can you tell me, since we're talking about that, can you tell me a little bit about that track, especially and what that one meant for you?
What, 2020?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 2020 was written in a day. I sat and I played one chord over and over and over, and it's just one chord, and I wrote it in about 2 hours, recorded it, and I uploaded it at the end of the day. It was more about just trying to put everybody that's out there with everybody's different opinions into one bubble, so we're all together on the same page, because there is a lot of fights that you come up against in life, and if you go out on your own, it's really hard. But if you're all in that same bubble and you work together, it makes it a lot easier. So we all understand, you know. It's about nobody chucking a negative at anybody. It's about everybody working positive together and making positives out of negative situations instead of fighting about it. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to put across. But
Yeah, no, I like that, and it's a good analogy that a lot of people, especially fans and in the music industry, because I noticed this in Australia, that a lot of the musicians lift each other up, work together, and it'd be good if
yeah,
a lot of the fans come along as well and lifted the Australian scene up a lot
yeah,
more as well, and work together and not looked at the negatives, because it's easy to get caught up in this social media cycle. I don't anymore. I did a couple of years ago, but it's hard because you look at some of these sites and people are always so quick to chuck on the negative to something, you know, and not look at the positive side of things. And that's what I
yeah,
liked how 2020 kind of addressed that issue of things as well, you know, looking at the positive, not being so negative, and, you know, having a bit more of
yeah.
a better outlook on things.
Yeah, that's right. And it's the same as yeah, Control of the Unholy is a similar thing. It's just got that fight that everybody has inside them. And it doesn't pinpoint anything in particular, but it still gives everybody that urge to go out and fight for what's right, you know,
Yeah.
and wake us all up again. Because one thing that I have noticed is that in the music industry is that they're removing people's opinions in song and people's and their fire and their rebellion and everything. They're removing that and replacing it with a lot of digital stuff. By doing that and letting that, we're completely removing rock and we're completely removing the metal from our lives.
Yeah.
We need that. That's the music that expresses. We can have songs about monkeys and stuff like that, but we can go to the zoo and see them too. But you know, we need songs about real stuff, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
love all music, but you know, we need feeling and emotion, and you can't get that without a rock or a metal song. You need
Yeah.
that in your life.
And that's what I love about the bands that, like, of Brad Cook, who's recently, I think he released his EP today, as well as a great rock EP, and the music you're releasing. We have some amazing rock singers here in Australia, and I
We
don't
do.
know if you notice it as well, but it's some people are still stuck on the old Cold Chisel CDs and not looking at the amazing rock acts we have coming through at the moment, because the talent that we have here in Australia, especially in the rock scene, you know, is unreal.
And with that, we really do need to think about the future of music in Australia too, because once all these historic, amazing people are gone, like Cold Chisel and AC/DC and all of them things, who's going to be there to keep it alive?
Yeah.
You know, we need to celebrate this music coming through, and it doesn't matter what record labels or anybody out there says or tries to convince people. We've got the numbers, they've got the power, the doors, they said it all. Let's go and let's boost each other up and turn up to people's events and, you know, and go our own way with it, because we got the numbers. We're out here, all us metal and rock creatures of the night.
Exactly. And you mentioned before that the Australian crowds, and you've done so well overseas, you've got a lot of interest over there. The South African iTunes #1, how's that one?
Yeah, that was Fire to the Sky. That was just that was a surprise. I never expected it to do that. I saw it there online. I went, wow, we're #1 over in South Africa. And we were still on the charts in New Zealand in the 100 and something for that song too. I realised last week I'm being played on something like 10 commercial radio stations in New Zealand. Like, I didn't even know. Here, I'm like, come on, play me, please.
I know we have this challenge here in Australia, and I'm always bringing this up about support, because this is what the one thing I really started this out of, to get more support for the scene here in Australia and the underground scene, and quality talented artists like yourself. We have talented artists like yourself that are doing so well overseas, but over here in Australia, you hardly even, you go, oh, Lisa Perry.
You don't even know them.
I was talking about you this morning to someone. I was like, dude, you got to go check out Hellz. Amazing rock band. Go check her out. She's got an amazing voice. They're doing some big things. And they're like, who? And the same with Voyager. They're like headlining Prog Fest, and they come over here to Australia, a few hundred people. You're Airborne. The crowds they're pulling in the US, they come over here to Australia, like they're
Airborne,
unreal, aren't they? Airborne are doing some amazing.
I love them. I saw them live a few years back, and the guy come out, and it was at the big day out. Look, this is way back now, and he come out and he was up on top of the bloody stage playing on there. It was really, really good show.
I got a story about Airborne as well. I seen them a number of years ago before Big Day Out, right? I seen them at a small hotel, the Loxton Hotel in this the Riverland where I'm from, in South Australia. Only a couple hundred people there, and I seen them then, and I was back when I used to drink, and I knew they were going to be big then. He was doing the same thing then, even on the small kits and the setups. He was jumping up, doing the same thing that he was doing to these big crowds that he's doing now. He was doing that in those small pubs, and I was looking at them. I was headbanging that night, and I've given myself a black eye off one of their speaker systems or whatever, and I was watching them there. And I was like, dude, this band is going to be big, and it's good to see, them come through and do what they've done so far for the rock scene. They're one of the bands that are leading the charge for the rock scene in Australia here.
Yeah, bloody oath. And they're amazing. And so here's for our mosh pit injuries. I've had a snapped ankle in a mosh pit. I've smashed my back. I don't know how Green Day, I was just dropped on the floor. I went from up in the air because I got kicked out of the concert. Like, they kicked me out, and the last song, I'm sitting outside, they're playing Hope You Have the Time of My Life or Your Life, and I'm sitting out there next to the security, and all my mates are in there. I had rock boots on with hooks all the way up to here, and I had part of someone's scalp in my boots because I'd been surfing over them all.
Wow.
It was meaty.
Oh, that's brutal. That's
oh my God.
Metal.
I know. No, but see what they wanted to do, the audience were like, okay, they were going to throw me, so they were back and forth, and they were trying to throw me to the stage. So every time they do it, the security on the other side of the fence would grab me, and they'd have my legs pulling me back, trying to help me.
Some dude,
security's got me this way.
Some poor dude probably went home, got his bald spot still probably sitting on his head.
Oh my God.
Listening to this going, it never grew back.
I remember that, bitch.
I remember that.
That was me.
Sorry.
If you're out there and you have red hair, I know that. I'm very sorry.
So, okay. Whoops. So, can I ask, because you've had a huge year, what's this? Are you going to lead this into like an EP or an album, or what's your plans for this? I know you're slowly teasing it out and giving everyone a taste of what Hellz has to offer, and I know you've got a lot in the go, I know for sure, from the way things are rolling out. Can you tell me a little bit about what your plans are with Hellz and where we kind of go from here?
Yeah. All right. So since last October, pretty much, I've been hard at work writing, releasing. I make the videos, everything you see. So at the moment, all the songs that I've prepared, we've got them out there. Now we're writing our next set. Okay. So the next set will come out. Then we're going to take our favourite and most well-doing songs from the first set, the second set, and we're going to put our first album together with that. So there is an album coming in the future. I also announced in the last couple of days that I have, in fact, started my own record label called Revenge of Eve Records, which I am representing myself, representing Hellz. In the next few months, I will be looking at maybe signing some artists too. So, and that's for all my promo and press and stuff I do as well. Awesome. So, yeah, busy. But I already do all the work. I might as well have the overhead as well. So, and do it
So,
and
so
help artists.
what's that been like, setting that all up, that process?
Oh my gosh. It's been actually a little bit crazy. I'm getting some mentoring starting next week.
Yep.
Where I have an in-depth mentor that's going to start working with me and teaching me the system.
Yeah.
I have everything, the legals, I have all the, I'm just starting to go through all of it now, starting to set up the pages. Let's do it. Why not?
Keep us up to date at Crannk, because we'll put in links for all of this. We're obviously going to put in links for Hellz and that. I want to talk about support. Where's the best place people can get along and support Hellz? Like, do you have some merch up yet? Where's the best place we can support you guys?
Yeah, if you go to www.houseofhellz.com with a Z, Hellz, you'll be able to see merch stores and links to social media and some pages there as well. You can also go to www.facebook.com/HellzLive/ again to go on straight onto the Facebook. Did I say 4 W's then?
Yeah, we'll put the link in there with the scene anyway, and with the video and everything as well. So
awesome.
Give the guys a shout out. Who else you got in there? I've got it down here as well. So the rest of the guys.
So Gorka Allegra. Yeah, Gorka Allegra's on bass. He's a phenomenal bass player. He's also a producer. He's an amazing producer, actually. He did Fire to the Sky with me, and he also wrote Bitch Ran Away with me, and we're working on a few more now. He's worked with artists like Nazareth, Scorpions. He's got some major people he's worked with in the past, and it's an honour to work with him. Also, Tolo Grimald, he was on Bitch Ran Away on guitar, and he's in the film clip on that. You'll see him hammering out a solo on that one as well. He's going to work with me for our next few songs as well. He's on board. He worked with Metallium as the lead guitarist for many years. And then we've got Mark McLeod, he's from the Screaming Jets, done some tours with them around Aussie, and he's my favorite larrikin at the moment.
That's really cool, because Screaming Jets are one of those bands that I grew up listening to as well. Another great rock band, and it must be cool to be playing with like the likes of these guys and Mark McLeod, and having this group of creative people to push forward through, and you're getting well received. It must be great to have that drive to push you forward. It
is. It does. It gets quite surreal when you sit here and you start talking to artists as well that you've always looked at from another perspective, but you're talking to them as a friend as well. Paul Wilson, he's the bassist in a long time for Screaming Jets. I was talking to him, and I said to him, I love that song Helping Hand. He goes, I wrote that. I'm like, how awesome is that? Just like, and we're just talking on the phone. The other one was Lucas Fox, drummer for Motorhead.
Yeah.
I was talking to him the other night, and I'm like, he's Lemmy's mate. Like, he's like the founding member of Motorhead, and he's beautiful, and it's so very surreal. Yeah, it's great, and everyone is so beautiful, and because you'll get people straight away that are just cold, and not to you, and then you get people that are just they just shine, and they're such great people. Yeah.
I've found that too with a lot of the people that I've spoken to as well, just doing what I've been doing, and a lot of the musicians are just so cool, and the people from the underground. And I chatted to Ben Bruce, Mask and Alexandria. He was just as cool. The guys from Sevendust, Steel Panther, they're all just great
awesome
people bringing out music, and they're just like you and I, doing what they create.
Hell yeah,
doing what they love, creating art that keeps them going.
That's it. At the end of the day, we want to do that. So
and I
that's
suppose
why we're here.
Exactly. I suppose with what's happened with COVID, you're in Sydney, aren't you?
Yeah, so we're staffed here.
You were just probably like, okay, then cool. Shows, probably just thinking about small shows maybe, and then...
I was touring the US this year. I was supposed to be there in June with Whitesnake and all sorts. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? It got
called off.
Oh, yeah, it got called off.
Yeah.
It must have been cool it must have been cool to get that call, and you were like, yes, and then... Damn. It must be good because you're getting these calls, and it must be that you'll get that call back for sure.
Yeah. I'm going next year, but if it's planned now for next year, So in New York, I don't know if the lineup would be the same, but this year it was Joe Hoekstra from Whitesnake. There was an all-star band. We were all Bobby Rondinelli from Sabbath on drums. We had a massive Greg Golden, I think his name. There's a whole heap. And yeah, it was a lot of greats that I was Hall of Famers, and I'm invited next year.
You'll be there. You'll be there for sure, because you are the way
everyone just needs to pray.
Exactly, and I'm going to like it too, because hopefully before the international borders open up, we get things all right here in Australia. And as we're talking about the locals getting along and supporting the Aussie bands and the Aussie scene, which would be really cool, you know. And this time I've brought tons of merch, and I've had plenty of time to check out new bands, and I'm hoping everyone at least watching this is doing the same, you know.
Yeah. Well, Mark and I were going to try and organise something down in Melbourne in about 4 weeks' time. We were going to do a live show. We had a studio ready. We were going to get Paulson on the bass. We were going to get a few people in there and create a live show for everyone to watch. So, okay, we can't do this. We'll do this. Yeah. And they shut the borders.
Yeah.
And, well, get in the back of a truck, Lise. Just get in the back of a truck. No one will know. And then they started throwing people in prison for jumping the borders. Like, do you know what, Mark? People are going to know if I'm in Melbourne on a live broadcast.
I know. They're going to see that. I want to quickly talk about the way you've been going with the social media and the publicity on this one, because I think it's very smart the way you've done it. You release the singles one each month, and I've actually talked about a few artists about doing this, you know, releasing a few singles, getting, you know, the people involved and the audience and the fans checking out what ones are going best and kind of going from there. This is a really good campaign for this, something you guys have probably thought about fairly well, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty much in your fans and the people out there listening to you are what makes you successful. At the end of the day, your music is the package. People out hearing it that makes it successful, that want to hear it. So in my way, it's in this day of age, we've got a lot less shorter attention spans too. So when you first hear something, it's right. If you can keep something going every couple of weeks, people are ready for new stuff now. Everything in these days just goes bang, 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 you know, it's not, and we lose interest. So it keeps interest and it keeps everything going. It's
hard to work out like this publicity thing, and as you're saying, the content and how to properly promote your band coming up so you can get the ears around your music, because you worked your ass off bringing out this music. You work really hard at bringing out this music. You want some ears around it, so you got to think of a way to package your art and bring it out so people can get it. There's heaps of bands that have this dilemma, like, how are we going to promote this album? What are we going to do? And it's, as you're saying, the 5-minute attention span. That's why I hardly ever do written interviews anymore, because people 5 minutes and they're done.
That's right. And the other thing is everybody holds on to everything to the last minute. I think people forget that everything's changed from the last 10 years. We've got a whole different platform. Everything's different. So we need to always update our promotion to match that kind of what's here now. And it's not known that people put out a little clip of their song before it's released. If you put out the first 4 bars of your song as an ad 2 weeks before your song is released, people are already getting familiar with that sound. Yeah. And when they hear it, they're like, oh, I know that sound. And they're more likely to watch it. And even if it's just come past and it's played in an ad. Yeah. You know, that's one bit of advice I can give to people, is make them familiar before they know they're familiar with it. You know, and you know, people feel warm to that straight away. Oh, I know that, you know, or Yeah, and then they'll head over and check it out and give it a like or whatever on Spotify. And that's the thing, as long as people I want people to realise it's good to like your band on Spotify, but, you know, that doesn't, buy the album as well. If you like a band, buy the music as well. That's it. See, Spotify, I used to be very, very big on promoting my Spotify. Sinner done extremely well. I think is it 30,000 or so. I got a really, really good straight away, the first couple of songs. And then I thought, hang on. Then I started coming past posts where people were getting people to pay to get their plays and get stuff like that. And I started questioning how real it was, you know, as well. And see, for me, I'm putting music out because I really want to know people are listening to me. So I don't fight. That's a whole distraction and a fight. over there to get on them playlists and get them numbers, and nobody knows what's real anymore.
Yeah.
It's basically killing itself. I'm sure it's killing itself, and I hope that's what's happening. It's a business card. That's how I think of Spotify. It's a business card, and any other thing like that that's out there. So my music does go on it for a business card.
Yeah.
But I promote and I put all my effort into other ways of making money out of my music. So if an artist is out there, also write the songs, get another basket, and sell yourself as an artist as well as an individual, and get people to endorse you, and make yourself into a business, because that's what's going to fund what you're doing, you know, the music.
Yeah, because you got to put into the amount of hours you put into making an album, and the amount of hours you put in this year, no doubt, would be a crazy, insane amount of hours of work. You want a kind of return. You don't want to work for nothing as well, but you're going to do it anyway because you're an artist. And that's what you love.
A lot of us do. Yeah, that's right. Well, the music-wise, I'm not doing amazing dollars out of music, but I'm doing well out of the promotion that I put along with the music.
Yep.
And I've got the endorsement with the Olympus guitars. I'm getting a signature guitar line for me.
That's
and
awesome.
I've got the road endorsement now. So I'm like, yay. Just market and make the dollars.
What was it, the nomination? What was it, the nomination for the Songwriters Awards in the rock category as well?
Bitch ran away. We've got 2 of those going at the moment, so we'll see. It'll be nice.
Yeah, what was it like?
It's just nice to be in something like that.
Yeah, just to get that nod and that nomination for your songwriting. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to be there and to know that you are getting noticed, and I think that's what it's all about, is knowing that people are hearing and listening and going, that is okay, that's good, that, you know.
Yeah, and you've also got a couple of meaningful songs as well under your own name there on your YouTube channel, which was really nice. The Black song there, which was for anxiety and depression, and the other song you got on there, which was really nice, man. That was really cool songs as well.
They're just me stuffing around, playing just little things or writing a little riff and getting something out off my chest. Yeah. Black was a real dark song for me. It was a dark time in my life. I'd been through quite a bit. I had a cervical cancer diagnosis, which I got through. I'd had a lot of stuff, and I think everybody feels like that sometimes. Locked all my windows, closed my doors, not going to hurt me anymore. My wall's up, you know, and you get your strength and you come back out again and fight on again. And that's what it's about. It's like, we can do this, you know.
It's good to see songs and artists like yourself standing up and going, it's all right. You know, as someone who has anxiety and PTSD myself, I always enjoy having this conversation, because it's more than what we were doing 20 years ago, and it's great to see artists like yourself that can have this conversation and go, it's okay to not be okay, and, you know, have put out
there's no stigma with it. And
we all feel this way.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, and I'm glad people are stepping forward these days and talking about it a bit more. Because there's so many people that go through so many things these days, like they fight cancer as well, or something like that, or they go through abuse or something like that, and something not so great. They help you in that situation with your medical or with whatever you need to get out of that situation, but there's not really much for after. Once you go through something, and everybody is fighting some kind of demon, you know. We've all got something. I say that to somebody, that's your thing. Everybody's got their thing, and that's your thing, you know. Exactly.
And no matter how bad it gets, it does get better. I've been in some bad places, and, you know, my life is, you know, you just got to keep chipping away and keep living, because no matter how bad it is at the moment, tomorrow always gets better. People got to remember that as well.
That's why I did the whole
look at what you've done, and look at what's happened out of everything that's happened with your career. You know, you went through this time, you had that cervical cancer scare and everything as well, and now look at your career. You're creating this great music, and you're on a roll. So, you know, things do come around.
Well, I let you know a secret. Before I crazily decided last year to go to America all on my own, and not even know the people I was staying with or anything, I just turned up. They knew I was coming, but just went there. I wouldn't walk to the shop on my own. I was really bad. Like, I just didn't want to go outside on my own, because I'm thinking about all bad stuff that could happen. And that was an anxiety thing for me that I was going through. And I thought, no, I got to do this. I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to go to America. and I did, and I haven't stopped since. That was it. That was the moment that I went, we are not afraid.
That's
we
good.
can do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I reckon I'm going to sign out there because that's an awesome message to sign out on. But before I do, can I have last words, thank yous, or shout outs?
Yeah. I'm going to say thank you to you first, Jai. And who else am I going to thank? Black Ruse for setting us up with this interview. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to all my amazing fans out there that stick by me, my friend, family, not just fans. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you go to the website, get some merch.
Yeah, check out
Hellz,
Lisa Perry, check out
Hellz.com.
Hellz, shake them down, buy some merch, buy some music. Let's support this band. And Lisa, I'd love to have a chat with you when your album comes out. Thank you very much.
We
Cheers,
can do
mate.
that.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.